All right, so welcome to today's podcast. This is Scott Engler, your host, published author and thought leader on contemporary job search strategies and using LinkedIn, the site where over 94% of recruiters are there already looking for you. All right, so today is a very specific topic that I think if you're listening would really appeal to you if you are currently still working somewhere and want to use some of the safety, so to speak, features that LinkedIn has added on this year to help you be able to attract job opportunities under the radar while still working at your current job and not advertising the fact so publicly that you're looking for new work, right? Because you're still at your job. So what I really want to start off by saying is that a lot of people that I've worked with over the years have been still at their job, which has been kind of a surprise to me because initially when I wrote my first book on contemporary job search strategies, it was really, my thought was helping people that I had been speaking with and interviewing, and a lot of those people happened to be unemployed, underemployed, or working 2 to 3 jobs. So what's unfolded though, as I've had my business now for a little while, is a lot of my clients over the years have actually still been working at a job, only just one job, and having it be a bad situation that they wanted to transition out of. And so as I've worked with these clients and had hundreds of conversations now with people in this situation, the fears, the feelings, the challenges are very similar. And when it comes to LinkedIn, there's 4 really common fears or obstacles, perceived obstacles, as I like to call them, that people have. So the first one is this fear of getting caught looking for work on LinkedIn by their current employer, right? So they're afraid to do anything because they have this fear. Well, what if my employer sees me and looks at my profile and sees me looking for work? The second one is that coworkers, right? Other people, maybe their clients, someone else is going to catch on that they're using LinkedIn to job search, and that the result's pretty much going to be the same, right? They're afraid that they'll get caught, they're going to get fired, it's going to blow up in their face. The other one is this perceived obstacle, and it is actually really challenging to do on their own. So that's where I see the value when we work together on this, is that they're unsure how to really present themselves to transition to another job. So especially if they're looking to maybe work at a different role or industry or organization, how are they supposed to communicate that effectively to recruiters, to the right people, while they're still at their job and obviously don't want to post that they're looking for this kind of job, right? So it becomes very confusing on how to effectively do this. And then one of the last of the 4 more common ones is that they've never had to do this before. And so what I mean by that is most of them haven't ever really looked for work diligently while still at a job, or if they have, they've never done it on a public platform, right? Because it's a lot different. Maybe they're talking to people behind the scenes or something, but this is using LinkedIn, right? So it's this public platform. So they've never had to navigate this before, and that's where people are just really apprehensive when they come to me. They're really afraid, and they're usually really stuck, right? And they're in a bad situation at their current job, and they know they want to get out, but they're feeling stuck. So the good news for you is that after 6 years of working with a lot of people in this area, knock on wood, I've never had one of their worst fears get realized. So that means, they're afraid that they're going to get caught. They haven't gotten caught looking for work. All these fears that they haven't come true. The other good news is that LinkedIn has seem to catch on to these fears as well. And so what I've noticed is at least 2 newer features this year that they rolled out to really help people that are looking for new work and still working somewhere and have that fear of getting caught. So the first one is you could actually now put your your profile into secret job search mode, and it's actually called career interests. It's on your main page on your profile. It says let recruiters know you're open, and so you would just switch it to on. Initially, I planned to do this as a video, but I was having issues with my webcam. So what I'll probably do the next couple of days is do a video segment where I could show you guys how to find that. But hopefully you're assertive and maybe look for it on your own. It's on the main page of your profile, and it'll say right under your dashboard where it says who's viewed your profile, it'll say career interests, and then you switch that setting to on and not off. And the benefit of that obviously is that this is a private mode, so no one's going to see it except for recruiters. LinkedIn somehow set that up in the back end specifically for that. And the other thing that's really positive about this is by doing that, it actually raises your search engine optimization, which means that you will show up higher in recruiter search results simply just by doing that. So that's great. It has a multi-benefit from doing that. The second one is now before your industry would pop up on your main page on your profile, and it would show for mine it's professional training and coaching. It used to show up so everybody could see it. Now it doesn't. And so the good thing about this is that if you were looking to switch industries, right? If you were looking to change your industry, then you could do that privately. And recruiters could still search because they use industry as a major search tool. And what I learned recently, I was actually hired on by LinkedIn as a service provider for a pilot program they had. And what that pilot program involved was they were paying me to review job seekers' profiles and give them feedback to obviously land a new job, right? And so one of the things that they shared with us service providers that I learned was that over 300,000 people search by industry on LinkedIn every single week. So what that means is having your industry congruent with what you're wanting is a really big step to get found more easily by the right recruiters. And the great news is that whether you want to stay in the same industry or change it, you want to put what you're wanting, right? Because it's now not publicly displayed, so you kind of have to go in and make sure if you edit your intro thing, and again, I'll probably do a video of this in the next couple of days because I know it's easier to see it that way, but make sure that you have your industry up to date for what you're wanting, whether that's the same one or a different one. And highly effective tool and great if you're wanting to switch industries, so you could simply put that in there and nobody's going to see it except for recruiters when they search for you. So that means if you were wanting to switch from pharmaceuticals to healthcare, let's say, then you would simply go in and switch to healthcare. And even though you might be working in pharmaceuticals right now, you will show up in recruiter searches when they're looking for someone that might do the same role as you in healthcare. So hopefully that makes sense. And then as an added bonus, what I wanted to mention today was another tip that I've worked through a lot of clients with, and that's to reconnect with people in your network. So a lot of people are really apprehensive for the reasons I've explained, but they're also afraid to really talk to anybody. And what we do, when we start working together is we put together a time-based plan and goals of who they're going to reach out to. A lot of times that involves getting professional recommendations from people and giving them, and to reconnect with people that already like and trust them and know their professional value. And so without exceptions, everybody I've worked with has, first of all, been relieved, because what I remind them of is that LinkedIn is actually a professional networking site. It's not a job search engine. It's not so what I'm trying to get at is many people use the site simply for professional networking. And what that means is that you could start adding on former bosses, coworkers, employees, clients, without raising any flags, because that's what the site's designed for anyway, job searching or not. So that comes as a huge relief to people. And then the second one is once they start reconnecting with a lot of these people, and I have tools to show them ways to efficiently and effectively do this, is they start seeing opportunities, right? They start opening up to people about what their situation is, but also they start attracting opportunities because sometimes these people know of a job that they might be a good fit for. They've already worked with them together, so they know their qualifications, and it really sets the ball rolling. So the reason I'm sharing that with you today as well is because a big fear is just they don't know who to reach out to, but the reminder that you can connect with people that you've worked with and thinking in those terms, and just remember it's a professional networking site. You should be doing that anyway, quote unquote. And really just what I want to kind of end off with today is if you've been working, a lot of these people that I work with have been at their company for 10, 20, 30 years. And so it sounds simple in theory to just leave, right? But what happens in most cases is that the situation's toxic now. It used to be a good company that they're working for whatever reason, it's just not working out for them anymore. And they're stuck. And so while it sounds simple in theory, you don't like your job anymore, it's horrible, you're not getting paid, whatever, you're getting accused of stuff, whatever's going on that's just making this really almost unbearable for you, you're still not leaving, right? And so what I want to let people know is that the reason why is because you are highly attached and enmeshed with this company that you've spent so much time, right? Some of us spend more time at our jobs than we do with our family. So many years and time working for that, of course, it's going to not be that simple to just break through. And most people really stay stuck in this situation until things get physically, emotionally, mentally unbearable. I don't mean they get physically abused, but like they just might physically, even if it's something like manual labor or just physically, like they're so stressed that they just can't take it anymore. Legal issues arise that does happen, or they're just terminated, right? And so really what I want to put out there today is that a major transition or change like this was not meant to be taken alone. So the people I'm talking about that start getting all these opportunities and start reaching out, we've worked through some things together. They've come for support. They've been able to break through this with a professional, in this case myself, helping them get through this because I've helped a lot of other people get through it, right? So this isn't something I'm unfamiliar with. And so I really want to say you owe it to yourself to first acknowledge that if this has been something that's been on your mind for 6 months, a year, one of my clients recently, I think he said 2 or 3 years, is your best thinking getting you what you want? Or maybe you do owe it to yourself to really get some outside support here. And so what I want to end on with that is that one of the great things is that January and February are two of the biggest hiring months for companies. And because of this, I have a new promotion called New Year, New You. And so for the entire month of December, I'm actually offering my biggest discount ever on my increasingly popular LinkedIn profile optimization, branding, and level 1 networking package. And since with each person I do work customized and it's tailored for their individual needs, I can only work with so many people at once. So I'm only able to offer this discount to the first 10 people. And the criteria, the people that I've worked with and seem to work with really well is if you're an executive, senior level, C-level, like a COO, CMO, director, project manager, or vice president, if you're currently just working somewhere that is just no longer working for you and you're really serious about making a change and getting started in the next 30 to 60 days. Bear in mind, executive roles, the industry average to transition is 6 to 12 months. So think about if that's you and how much longer you want to put up with the situation you're in. So if this sounds like you and you want to get started as soon as possible, I'd highly encourage you to reach out. December happens to be a month where a lot of companies, and most job seekers don't know this, are lining up interviews because they understand the process takes a little while to actually onboard someone. And so in December, they're doing a lot of screenings to get clients set up, or people, I should say, set up for January to have interviews. And if you're at executive role, you know that it's a process, right? You're probably going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 interviews before they'd even hire you. So bear that in mind, and that's why it would make sense to get started sooner than later. If this is you, you could send me an email on LinkedIn with the heading LinkedIn December promotion, and we could see if it'd be a good mutual fit. Please do email me with that heading, because I do get a lot of blind requests and messages, and so if you don't put that, it's very likely that I won't even see it. And so I'd highly encourage you to do that. Again, first 10 people is who I'm taking, and looking forward to being able to assist a lot more people in this area to get the jobs they want next year. Thanks so much.